So today was the first day you've come together as a squad. How do you feel like you've gelled together as a team?
So I know quite a lot of the para bowlers, so I've got a good relationship with all of the players, and it's just lovely to catch up with them and see them all again. In particular, I play quite a bit with Stephen Hartley, another visually impaired player, and we've been getting lots of practice in because we live fairly local to one another. And also Jeremy has been joining us on the green. You're fairly new to directing, but it's been nice, isn't it?
Yes, it has. Yeah, we've attended various events. We've had a disability awareness event at West Backwell in North Somerset. So I met quite a few of the people that are here in the squad today at that event, and also at the trials at Nuneaton last month. So you know, I already know some of the people in the squad, and I've met others today, and I think we're all ready for action and ready to put in a good performance this weekend.
Fantastic. And Alison just said, Jeremy, it's the first time as an international director.
That's right.
So how did that feel to get selected?
That was amazing, and real honour to be selected. I've bowled for a number of years, but it was only really when Steve Hartley came to my club in Exeter, Exonia, and I started working with him in various matches that I understood the role of a director, and it was something that really interested me, and Steve encouraged me to get involved with that, and a little bit of anticipation and anxiety to start with, but the squad's been great, and everyone at Bowls England has been really welcoming, and sort of feel I'm ready to make a contribution at the Para Home Nations event. So sort of initially anxious, but really looking forward to it now.
Brilliant. And looking at the weekend ahead, I think we're in for a really great series. Who would you say are kind of your biggest challenges, whether that's like the teams facing or any particular players?
There's a lot of tough opposition here this weekend. I've played against a lot of these players before, and none of the games will be easy. It's going to be very tough, and we've just got to stay focused and do our best. But looking forward to meeting some of the other teams again, and again know quite a few of the players, so it's nice to meet up at these events.
Absolutely, and I think conditions are set fair for this weekend. Got more fine weather, so the greens should be running really well here at Leamington. So it's going to be really the ultimate test of para bowling. And I'm as someone that's new to directing, I'm really looking forward to being involved and watching some high quality bowling, and that's going to come from all the nations here. So I think I wouldn't want to single out any one particular team or country. I think it's going to be very high quality and very competitive.
Fantastic. And Alison, this isn't your first time on the international stage. I think you've got a few notches on the belt with the international selection. So how does it feel to be playing back at Leamington, particularly with it being the place where you secured that bronze medal back in 2022?
So Leamington is a very special place for me. It's lovely to be back here. We've been practicing on A green this afternoon, and that's the green where I won my bronze medal. I had my parents here, my husband, lots of friends, and just lovely memories of achieving a bronze medal.
Amazing. And what advice would you give to Jeremy, since it's his first time, and obviously you're an experienced international bowler yourself?
Just relax, really. You're not going to do anything wrong. We just really appreciate your help. We can't see what shot to play, so you're going to give us the advice that we require. So we just thank you for being here, and we're going to have a lovely time. It's going to be brilliant.
It's a pleasure, and there are other really experienced directors as well, so I'm looking to learn from them and from the VI players as well. So I think together we can hopefully put in a great performance for England.
And you touched on kind of the relationship between director and player. How important is that relationship and building that bond between the two of you?
It's really important. So you need to basically have trust in the director, that they're giving you the correct information, advising you on what shot to play. So to be comfortable in their company is really important.
Yeah, and it's a balance really, because the director is part of the equation, but at the end of the day they're not bowling. So I think I've over the last sort of couple of months, I've learnt with Steve that we really work as, when we've been paired as player and director, we work as a team, and so at times I will call the head and suggest shots, but equally Steve's obviously got all that experience of bowling for England previously, so there'll be times when I'll just sit back and let Steve do the talking and just enjoy the experience. So yeah, it's a real partnership between the directors and the VI bowlers.
Absolutely, and I think playing for England is obviously a special thing, and we're all counting down to the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. Alison, you've obviously played in Commonwealth Games yourself. How special is the Commonwealth Games for this sport, and what can it do to kind of drive it forward?
I think it's really important. I mean, it's the pinnacle of bowls. To be at the Commonwealth Games is a massive achievement. And it's really nice that the para bowls is included, because it's an opportunity to showcase that even though you've got a disability, you can still actually do well at sport and achieve great things. So I think it's a really good way of highlighting how disabled people are included, and
Absolutely, I'd second that. It's a real showcase to show that bowlers with either a physical disability or visual impairment, they can achieve really high standards. And in fact, when I've been bowling, or Steve's been bowling at our club back in Exeter, people have remarked about the standard of his bowling, and I think that can only, something like the Commonwealth Games, which is the ultimate venue and the ultimate showcase, that just shows to everyone that bowls is open to you regardless of disability, impairment or situation, and that's I think what I would take away from both this Home Nations and the Commonwealth Games next year.
And we touched on obviously Commonwealth Games being such a pivotal moment for the sport, but also we've got a World Championships coming up in 2027. Obviously Bowls England have bid to host that. How important would it be to kind of host that here, and how much more impact would that have for you as a player who might be playing in it?
It's always nice to have an event in your, where you live, especially like for family and friends. They can come and visit and watch you play, so it's always nice to have people there in the crowd supporting you.
I can imagine that makes such a difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Brilliant. One final question that I'm just going to throw as a curveball. So if you could give any advice to anybody who has a disability, is looking for a sport, what would be your kind of rallying call for them to give bowls a go?
I mean, I started to lose my sight in my early 20s, and I wasn't in a very good place for quite some time. And then I heard about a visually impaired bowls club that was in Plymouth. I'd never really knew much about bowls. I didn't think it was really something for sort of younger people. I was 29 at the time, and I just sort of went along and gave it a go and just fell in love with it. And if someone had said to me back then, you'll represent your country at 2 Commonwealth Games, I would never have believed it. So I just think if you're sat at home and you think you can't do it, you can do it.